All right, so I don't know where we left off, but I think it was me being frustrated with the exhaust, buying a new exhaust, and then fixing the pull start on the quad here. So let's show you what I've done so far since then. So one of the things we did was we installed this ball hitch. Pretty simple install, sorry it's so dark, but I just welded it to the bottom of the receiver on that bolt there, bolted it right on. It's keyed on the back so it doesn't spin or anything like that. I may add another bolt to the back just to re-solidify it, but we're not going to be towing anything too heavy, and my 215-pound butt can stand on the ball, and nothing snaps off, so I think we'll be okay. I don't really want to exceed over, 200 or 300 pounds on this tongue weight anyway for a four-wheeler. So one of the last things I wanted to do was install a set of safety lights. They're called WOW 2, so, a reputable brand that's been around for many years. Obviously American. So these were Amazon specials for, 25 bucks, something like that. Anyway, I'll show you how they work real quick. They are linked in series, so luckily they fit where they fit on the quad, but I may end up extending them a little bit just so we could see, So right now they're linked together, but I may end up actually extending them a bit just so I have a little bit more leeway with the wiring, but they can work in series or separate. And they have all these different patterns, even like a fog light setting, so you can just have them on. So one's going to go on the front of the quad, one's going to go on the back of the quad. Turn those off for now. Alright, so as you can see, I got these suckers installed. One on the front, one on the back. Some creative wiring and some creative mounting decisions made. Let me shut them off right now. So I had to use some hose clamps here because I wanted to still be able to use my rack, but I wanted them to be up and out of the way. I didn't want this to be down here in the front of the headlights because, my plow is going to be down here, and I didn't want to block the headlights, so I figured up would be good, but I didn't really want it up high enough to consider mounting it on the handlebars. So I figured this was the next best thing. Plus, it's, protected from anything hitting it in any direction pretty much. Same thing with the back. I wanted to mount it near the tail light, but up a little higher than the tail light, so you can still see the tail light when the bike's running. And when you turn these on, I used a piece of angle iron that I just drilled a couple of holes in, and I mounted it to the mounts for the back rack right there. So yeah, so this is plenty of rugged as well. I could stand on that, and that's not going to go anywhere. So, and it's tucked in out of the way, so I won't back into anything, hopefully. So yeah, it's going along pretty good. Ooh, excuse me. So yeah, this is going along pretty well. A couple things I want to show you that are really nice about what I did here. So when the key's off, the lights are off. So if I turn the lights on right now, no lights. However, as soon as I turn the key on, the lights come on. I kind of like that as a feature. So then the regular headlights can come on when you turn the key even further, and they still go. So in order to get that to work, I found a ground in the loom here, and I basically made a jumper in the ground to go from two females to a male that jumps in between there. Then I could take the ground from the wiring harness and ground it out here, and then I could take the hot from the wiring harness, and I found this wire that's only active when the key is on. So when you shut the machine off, the lights are off. So right now, if I turn this back on, the lights are on, and that's this wire being powered by the ignition. It's an orange wire with black squares in it. It's just an accessory wire. It was open in there. Nothing was plugged into it. I'm guessing it's for a winch or for auxiliary lights, much like this. So that worked out really easy. Now I just got to tuck all this back up under the speedometer housing here. Alright guys, let's give you a little final walk around here. Got the key turn on, Our lights come on. One in the back. Turn the key one more and the actual headlight and tail light will come on. Get the headlight. Alright, so let's recap everything we've done to it. So we purchased this for a really good deal. It had a crack in the plastic. We were able to stitch the plastic, rivet a piece of aluminum under there, and bolt a piece of aluminum under there to those two bolts. And now that's as good as new. You could stand on that and it's not going to crack again. We installed two like amber flasher hazard lights for when this thing plows. We installed a worn hitch for the Tusk plow. This is a 4-point hitch or a 4-point mounting adapter, unlike the one that came with the Tusk plow, which was a 2-point and would wiggle a lot. This one's actually made for the 300 KingQuad, so bolted right up. I did give it a little bit of a bath, washed it up, got the plastics cleaned up, and that's pretty much it. What else did we do? Did we do anything else? Change the oil. We did change the oil, so it's got clean oil in it. Check the tire pressure. Installed that ball hitch on the back, which was kind of a non-video. Fixed the exhaust by just getting a new exhaust, because, I mean, what are you going to do? I did want to end this video with you guys seeing the plow actually mounted to the ATV. So, that's it in its up position. There's just about 10 inches of clearance between the bottom of the plow and the ground when it's all the way up. I did have to make a couple of spacer blocks for these guides, just because it was keeping the angle of the plow when it's down. I'll show you. I do have a dirt driveway right now, so I want this, 3/4 inch of a gap between the actual cutting edge and the ground. That way it'll prevent picking up all the dirt that's in my driveway and moving it with the snow. As you can see, that did happen a couple times already this year. That's the winch I installed. Let me just shut the key off. I did wire the winch into the same hot lead that the lights are on. So once the ignition's on, then I can run my winch and I can run my lights. This is a Bulldog Bulldog winch mount. It is, I think it was one of the last ones in the country. They don't really make these too much, or they did make a bunch of them, but I can't find them anywhere. I found this one on eTrailer and they only had 2 left. So I think eBay has a couple of them. I found this one for 50 bucks, which is a really good deal. They mount with using the stock hardware up here. It comes with some interesting looking little, I put a hook down here. Where did that come from? Anyway, it mounts with some U-clamps on these rails right here. And I just zip tied the stock bumper on because it used to act, this bumper used to go in line with this rail, but I like the way it looks, so I wanted to zip tie it back on because it kind of fills the gap and it hides that hardware. I did have to countersink the winch hardware into the plate itself, so I just ran a countersink bit through the 4 bolts that hold the winch into the mount. I bought a Traveler winch. This is the cheapest winch. It was 60 bucks from Tractor Supply Company. It was the cheapest one I could find. That was a 12 volt winch. This is the Fairlead that came with the winch, the hook that came with the winch. I do want to get a Fairlead protector or a winch line bumper to go in here, because when this goes all the way up, this little grommet will get into the roller Fairlead and it will chew it up, and I don't want to do that. So a bumper will be on there. Other than that, the plow is great. I lubed it all up, adjusted the springs so that way when you hit something, the plow bends out of the way pretty easily when you whack something, so you're not going to fly over the handlebars. And that's the mount for it's like for a 97 to 01 300 Quad King, but it fits the 95 just fine. I just had to get some U-bolts to fit it, so I ran to the hardware store and put some U-bolts on. So I took off all the apparatus that did the lever action. It's all over there. Yeah, I plowed snow with the lever action twice, and I was all done. I said, nope, we're gonna get the winch. So that's what we did. Another nifty thing I did with the winch, just so you guys can see, there's a little wet, like waterproof box in here. It's not a Pelican case or an Otter case or anything like that, but it's just a cheap waterproof box. I wired the large solenoid, the double action solenoid for the winch into this box and sealed it all off with silicone. So I can open this box and service it if I need to, or change connections, but everything goes into there, and I figured it was close enough to the engine that it'll keep it warm. Shouldn't be any snow buildup on that. Figured that was kind of a nice, neat, out-of-the-way place for it. I did take all the front plastics off up here, and there is nowhere to mount any of that electronic stuff up in there. As you can see, I got my hot and my ground run. It's kind of hard to see, but they're run pretty close to the frame. Everything's zip tied up out of the way, so it shouldn't cause a problem. And that's nice and tucked up out of there, so that shouldn't cause a problem. But I really like the way that winch looks when the plow is off. This is going to be nice for off-roading. It's going to have a nice look to it. It doesn't stick out super far, but it's a nice small winch that'll be able to pick the ATV up, get it out of a mess if I need to. So yeah. Again, like I said, the switch is dead right now. Turn it on. You go in for up. Up we go. And that's it, pretty much topped out. So you can see where that grommet's going to start chewing up that fair lead if I don't get a bumper for it. But that's pretty much how it's going to sit. I'm super excited for it. It looks good on there. The plow matches the size of the ATV perfectly. It's not too big. It angles nicely, so when I'm running around with it, just throw the quick angle on it and push snow wherever I want. So, pretty excited about this. This is going to be a game changer for the winter. I did get my snowblower serviced this year. I did service it, put new belts in it, changed the oil, got the gas drained out of it, put fresh gas in it, new spark plug, a couple of shear pins. So this is ready to go for the heavy duty stuff and for the sidewalks. That sucker is going to be ready for the driveway. All right, I am psyched. All right, well, I figured what was the point of doing a whole video about installing a plow and a winch and all that stuff and not actually seeing this thing in action. So I had to wait. I had to wait until 2019 and about, 6 inches of snow and some freezing rain. Still freezing rain. So let's fire this puppy up and see what it does. All right, guys. All in all, that did pretty well. I think I'll keep it. Sure beats having a snow blow the entire driveway. So, very nice. Good tank. Man, I didn't even feel like I was gonna get stuck once. This thing has plenty of power and plenty of grip. So I'm psyched. Very excited. It's gonna make winter living a lot easier. So guys, if you like this video, click like. Check out more videos up here, and subscribe if you hit this button right here. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.